does it just really knows it's coming.
Who actually brought my sunglasses?
Oh, that's great.
Sorry, my bad.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the first tax day under the new Republican tax cuts. So I want to take a close look at the amazing crew standing with us today. Job creators, small business owners, hard-working Americans. These are the people House Republicans had in mind when we passed the working families tax cuts. The men and women who get up early, stay late, work overtime shifts, and actually keep this great country of ours moving. Because after 4 years of Bidenomics, Americans desperately need relief. Families watched prices skyrocket. Grocery prices went up, gas prices went up, rent prices went up. And you know what Republicans did? We said enough. We passed the working families tax cuts because we actually believe if you work hard, you actually are better stewards of your dollars than the United States government. We actually have faith in the people standing behind us that they will do good with the dollars. They will reinvest in their businesses, reinvest in their employees. And let me remind you of one thing that I make sure I say every week. Every single Democrat voted to raise your taxes. Every single Democrat voted to raise your taxes. That's right. Democrats were willing to raise the taxes on the very people behind us. That's what they wanted. The waitresses picking up extra shifts, the Uber drivers working late, the hairdressers working overtime, the small business owners just trying to make payroll. Democrats said, no, we want more of your money. But you know what Republicans did? We said, absolutely not. We actually want the American people and the hardworking people standing behind us to keep more of their money. Because government does not know how to spend your paycheck better than you do. Republicans voted for bigger refunds, for bigger paychecks for the American people. And Democrats voted no. That's the difference. Democrats wanted to raise your taxes. Democrats wanted to raise taxes on the very people joining us today. Democrats wanted to raise taxes on every single person in America. Isn't that crazy? Why? Democrats think they are better stewards of your money. Democrats advocate for waste, fraud, and abuse. We don't. Democrats wanted to raise the taxes. I keep saying that. And Republicans said no. And just because they wanted to spend more of your money and waste more of your money. And that's exactly why Republicans will keep fighting for hardworking families and hardworking small businesses. We will keep fighting for the American people. So thank you. One of the architects behind this working families tax cut, who worked tirelessly and diligently, the chairman of Ways and Means, Mr. Jason Smith.
Thank you, Ms. Lisa. The working families tax cuts are the product of the Ways and Means Committee leaving Washington, D.C. and going out to real America. We went to Petersburg, West Virginia, to a lumber yard. We went to a farm in Yukon, Oklahoma. We went to a factory in Peachtree City, Georgia. These working Americans gave us the ideas to bring real immediate relief to workers, families, farmers, and small businesses across this country. I think of Patrick Rona, a waiter in Las Vegas who testified that no tax on tips is going to free up enough money to basically cover his energy bills for a year. That is life-changing assistance. In fact, nearly half of all filers have claimed either no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, or no tax on auto loan interest on their returns so far this year. Overall, the working families tax cuts boosted the money going back into the pockets of workers and families by 11%, with an average tax refund of over $3,400. But you know, some are even experiencing more. Like a waitress in my district who told me that thanks to no tax on tips, the permanent enhanced child tax credit, and several other provisions, she received a $10,000 refund. She told me, Congressman, this will pay for my rent for a year plus food. A single mother with multiple kids. That is who we were targeting. Our bill prioritized working moms and dads, not billionaires. We are proud that thanks to the working families tax cuts, a family of four earning $73,000 a year pays 0 federal taxes. They owed Uncle Sam nothing when they filed their taxes this year. That is real relief for real Americans that this Republican Congress delivered for the American people.
Amen.
Now I thought it would be beneficial to actually hear from one of the recipients of the Working Families Tax Cut, Amber.
As a steelworker, the working family tax cuts are important. It means more money in our paychecks and stronger jobs in our town of Canton, Ohio. No taxes on overtime, no taxes on tips, and bigger refunds are a real relief for the working families. Thanks to Congress and President Trump for giving us a fair shot and noticeable money back in our pockets. Sorry, guys.
Thank you, Amber. On November 5th, 2024, the American people elected a Republican House, a Republican Senate, and President Donald J. Trump with a mandate for change. 4 years of disastrous Bidenomics had Americans feeling the strain of higher prices, falling wages, and record inflation. To put it plainly, President Trump and Republicans were handed an economy in ruin. And for the last 15 months, we've worked hard to build it back, brick by brick. The cornerstone of our efforts was the historic Working Families Tax Cuts signed into law by President Trump last July. This tax day, millions of Americans are feeling unprecedented relief from this once-in-a-generation bill. The average tax refund, as you heard from Chairman Smith, is up 11% compared to last year. Nearly half of all filers claimed a tax benefit from our tax bill this tax season. That's tens of millions of taxpayers taking advantage of provisions like no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, the child tax credit, the Social Security tax deduction, and the list goes on and on. Every single Democrat, it needs to be emphasized, voted against this tax relief and voted to increase the taxes on all Americans. Every single Democrat. Despite the media and Democrats fighting us every step of the way, Republicans delivered pro-worker, pro-family, and pro-growth policies. Failure was never an option. Make no mistake, when Republicans govern, the American people actually win. The Americans standing here with us today put that on full display. This tax day, the real winners of our America First agenda are clear. Service workers, law enforcement, parents, manufacturers, everyday Americans, and our work isn't finished. We still have more to do. But today, we're celebrating the fact that the American people are keeping more of their hard-earned money in their pocket, making their own decisions on their future. With that, I'll turn it over to our great leader, Steve Scalise.
Well, thank you, Webb. And what a beautiful day it is in America. This is a great day. For the first time in a long time, Americans are celebrating April 15th as tax day because American families are getting money back today. Their government is finally delivering for them. When you think about what we set out to do, as Chairman Smith talked about what the objective was, when we created the Working Families Tax Cut, President Trump campaigned on it. He talked about what he would do. Number one, we're going to prevent a tax increase on American families. And every Democrat voted no because they wanted a tax increase on American families. But we said we're going to take power away from Washington and give it back to the people. What a powerful idea that is. As we celebrate 250 years of this great experiment known as American democracy, a revolution was started to say we're going to give power back to people, and we furthered that promise in this bill. And now we're seeing the benefits. Families are seeing the benefits. You heard the lies that were being told. Oh, gee whiz, it's the millionaires and the billionaires. Well, you know who's benefiting? It's hard-working families. People who were struggling to get by under the Biden administration, who couldn't afford to put food on the table. They're finally getting some